Hiya and welcome to Year 4. I am Miss Long.
And I'm Mrs. Moon. So on the screen you'll see that there is some general information about Year 4. So as we said, the adults in Year 4 are myself and Miss Long, and we're also joined by Mrs. Poles, Mrs. Goldstone and Mrs. Medina. The start of day is as previous at 8:45, the doors open. Registers close at 9 o'clock, so it's really important your children are in by then, and the end of the day is at 3:30. Our PPA sessions are on a Wednesday afternoon and they're led by Mrs. Marsden and Shine, and PE days are obviously on a PPA day the Wednesday and also on a Thursday, and on those days your children can come in dressed in their PE kits, obviously appropriate for weather, so hoodies and tracksuit bottoms as we approach winter.
Okay, so maths in Year 4. So first of all, we look at place value, where we'll be recognising the value of each digit. There will be a main focus as well on rounding to 10, 100 and 1,000, and looking at negative numbers with a 4-digit number. These will be covered in the Maths Planet, and there are some example questions that will be presented to the children in lessons as well.
So as with place value, we've also done a slide on addition and subtraction. You can see some of the main objectives that come up there, along with mentally adding and subtracting, as well as using a formal method. And then we move on to two-step problems. There's some example questions down below, obviously with a heavy focus on reasoning.
Okay, nearer sort of November, Christmas time, we'll be looking at multiplication and division. It is actually really important to ensure that children are learning their times tables at home every day, just practicing them. At the end of Year 4, we do have a maths times table test, so it's very important that all children know their times tables up to 12 times. You can also see some example questions on these slides as well.
Okay, then as we go through after Christmas, we start looking at fractions, decimals and percentages. There is less of a focus on percentages, that comes more into Year 5, but we start focusing really heavily on fractions. You can see some of the objectives on there. And here are some of the example questions for our fractions and decimals unit. There's quite a heavy focus on mastery and problem solving throughout Year 4, as there is in other year groups. So we've put on some example of mastery questions on the slides.
And some more. Okay, so Maths Planet, we will be doing Maths Planet every Thursday, starting on the 9th of September. Overviews can be found on the website. And we will be giving children feedback if they do not pass that week. And after a few weeks, if they unfortunately haven't passed, then we'll be sending some example questions home to practice at home as well. So that'll be every Thursday, we'll be starting that.
So there are lots of ways that obviously you can help at home in terms of with your children's math skills. Obviously times tables, as Miss Long said, is a massive focus in Year 4, but also focusing on time and telling the time, not only just in digital forms but also in analogue. We find that a lot of the children come to the chime units and find it quite difficult to use analogue clocks because of the amount of mobile phones and digital representations of time that they see. And also as well with money, it's really difficult to explain money, whereas we're using contactless more and more, and cards, it's quite difficult for them to understand like the coins and the value of each of them.
Okay, so English in Year 4. So for reading, children will have a book from the library and a book related to their reading group. Each Friday, we will change their book if necessary. So if they bring their book in and like a new one, then we will change it every Friday. If you could ensure that children are recording their reads in their reading record books, we'll check that every Friday as well. And I think on this slide, we talk about the reading challenge. So as long as the children have recorded their reads in their reading record book, we'll count them all up, and every 50 times they will receive a certificate and a book from Mr. Winterburn. So that's a sort of to help build the incentive to keep reading at home. They're also welcome to read any other books they have at home, any other materials such as comics, magazines, articles. Just keep reading at home as much as you can. Every day would be beneficial to their learning.
Here are some of the reading objectives that we focus on in Year 4. So not only about being able to read fluently, but also engaging with the text. So there's a lot of objectives around vocabulary and how different vocabulary can capture the reader's attention. And there's a lot of focus around thinking about hidden messages that are within the text as well.
Okay, and so these are some more sort of reading objectives we'll focus on in reading lessons. So we'll talk about sort of summarising paragraphs. We'll be using our inference skills to understand characters' feelings and emotions. And we'll be just talking a lot more about authors and the theme of the book.
Okay, so with regards to writing in Year 4, we write across a range of genres, not just with stories. We've written up a bullet point section of some of the genres that we cover in Year 4.
Okay, and we've got some objectives that we will cover in our lessons. So we'll be looking at noun phrases. We'll be using a wide range of vocabulary. Front adverbials, we've got figurative language. So that would be your metaphors, similes, onomatopoeia, personification. There'll be a big focus as well on sentence structure, ensuring that children are using a range of them and not just using simple sentences. And past and present tense, as well as inverted commas to support speech.
Okay, spelling obviously, as in within the other year groups, is a huge focus, not only within the school, but within education. We've got a Year 3-4 spelling list, which we've snipped and put onto the screen. Ideally, by the end of Year 4, we'd like the children to be able to spell all of these words accurately and be using them throughout their writing. We've also put up the Year 2 common exception words, as we tend to find that we end up with slipping a little bit with some of these words as they enter to Year 4.
Okay, and weekly spellings. So on Friday we'll send home a spelling list for the whole term, and they will be tested every Friday. These will be written in their homework books. So it'd be good to have their practice in there as well. So we've got it all in one place, and spellings will also be on the website. Also, we have Spelling Shed and Maths Shed as a extra resource to use. We'll be sorting out logins in the next few weeks.
Okay, so our wider curriculum. So as always, our wider curriculum is very important. This term we're focusing on electricity and science, the Industrial Revolution in history, Hinduism and Ari. We are about to start in week 3
because we have swimming
violin lessons, which are fabulous, not taught by either of us. And so that's an extra amazing opportunity. And we're also looking at what makes us us in Jigsaw.
Yeah, and we have knowledge and skills organisers, which can be found on our website as well. All of the areas of the curriculum we will be covering in term 1, and also the autumn newsletter will be on the website as well.
Okay, so Whitfield Plus and Shine After School Clubs are up and running again. So if you have any questions about these, please don't hesitate to ask us at the end of the day and we'll try and help you. Otherwise, the office is a great source of knowledge. And if it isn't possible for you to contact us at the end of the day, we are happy to arrange a meeting or receive an email. Our email addresses are on the website.
Okay, and lastly, our website. So the homepage will look like this. If you go to class pages and go down to Year 4, you will find most of this information on there, stuff about the wider curriculum, the books we are learning in English and reading, and more general information on there. So
thank you for joining us.
Thank you.